Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a stack of global news briefs that hit the wire on June 5th, 2025. Our goal here is really to cut through some of the noise, highlight the important stuff, maybe some surprising bits from these reports.
Yeah, and what's interesting today is just the sheer range of topics. You've got parliamentary drama, international relations, policy changes, even a local animal story, and sometimes connecting these things that seem totally separate. Well, it helps build a clearer picture of what's happening globally.
Absolutely. Seeing how different pressures pop up in different places.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's jump right in. What do these reports from this specific day tell us? First off, something pretty dramatic out of New Zealand. The parliament there.
Mhm.
Uh, record suspensions for 3 lawmakers. What happened?
Right, so this came after a protest, actually, in the chamber. 3 members from Te Pāti Mãori performed a Mãori haka.
A haka. Inside parliament.
Yeah, to protest a proposed law they feel really impacts Indigenous rights significantly.
Wow. So using a powerful cultural expression as direct protest?
Yeah.
And the reaction sounds like it was pretty swift.
Very swift and quite severe. A 7-day ban for one, Hanarawiri Maipi Clark, and 21 days each for Debbie Ngariwa and Rawiri Watiti.
21 days. That feels like a long time for that kind of parliamentary action.
Yeah.
It really underlines the tension around this legislation, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It shows how high the stakes feel around Indigenous rights and, the lengths representatives will go to using these potent cultural symbols to fight back.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. International relations, the African Union raising concerns.
That's right. They're worried about the potential impact of a U.S. travel ban.
This is the one President Trump implemented.
Yes, targeting 12 countries. And the key thing for the AU is that 7 of those are African nations. We're talking Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan.
Okay, so 7 countries. The AU isn't just reacting to the ban itself, but more the wider message it sends to the whole continent.
Exactly. It's not just about who can or can't travel. It's about what this does to diplomatic relationships, economic stuff, student exchanges, kind of the whole picture of the U.S.-Africa relationship.
Whoa.
They see a ban hitting so many member states at once as really damaging to, positive cooperation. It's a clear signal they see it as a setback.
Got it. Okay, now, Russia and Ukraine. Still ongoing, obviously. What were the reports saying on this day? Something about a drone attack.
Yeah, the reports covered Russia's position after a pretty major drone attack by Ukraine. The Kremlin's line was basically that their response will happen as and when our military deems it appropriate.
As and when appropriate. Okay, that sounds deliberately nonspecific, but the attack itself, reports mentioned multiple drones smuggled in, and the outcome was significant.
Very significant. Destruction of over 40 Russian jets.
30. Wow. Losing that many planes in one go, that's a serious hit. Did the reports give any more context on the response or maybe the messaging?
Well, losing that many jets certainly points to a major breach in their defenses. That as and when appropriate line gives them flexibility, obviously. But interestingly, the reports also noted President Putin apparently discussed this specific attack with U.S. President Trump.
Oh, really?
Yeah, told him a response would follow. So that adds a whole international diplomatic layer, signaling intent directly to the U.S.
Interesting. Okay, moving over to Asia now. Vietnam.
Yeah.
A big policy shift on birth rates.
A huge one, yeah. They've officially abolished their 2-child policy.
The one that's been around for ages.
Since 1988, so yeah, nearly 40 years.
Wow. Okay, why scrap it now?
It's all about declining birth rates. Vietnam's fertility rate has dropped quite sharply. It was 2.11 children per woman in 2021, down to just 1.91 by late 2023. That's below replacement level.
I see. So they're worried about the future, workforce, aging population, that sort of thing.
Exactly. So by removing the restriction, they're hoping couples might, choose to have more kids, giving them freedom over family size, a real switch from population control to worrying about population growth.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, a local story, but one that got international notice. From New York.
Yeah, really sad one. Authorities in Queens rescued 48 dogs, Belgian Malinois, from just awful conditions in an apartment.
48. In one apartment.
They were literally crammed into drawers, closets, cages. The place was filthy. Overcrowded, just grim.
Oh, that's heartbreaking finding dogs in drawers, and I read 3 of them sadly had to be euthanized.
Yeah, due to their health condition. The owner is facing, I think, 96 counts of animal cruelty.
96 counts. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a really stark example of how bad animal hoarding can get, isn't it? The
A-
suffering involved.
Absolutely. And while it's local, the graphic details really put a spotlight on this hidden issue. It definitely amplified calls for stronger animal welfare laws, better ways to intervene before it gets this bad.
hmm So, looking back at just this one day, June 5th,
Yeah.
you've got these clashes in the NZ Parliament over culture and rights.
Mm-hmm.
The African Union worried about the ripple effects of a U.S. travel ban.
Right.
Russia's careful posturing after a major military hit.
Yeah.
Vietnam completely reversing a decades-old population policy.
Mm-hmm.
And this shocking animal rescue case in New York highlighting systemic failures. It's quite a mix.
It really is. And when you consider them together,
Yep.
the protests, the international policy concern, the military response, the demographic shift, the animal rescue, they all touch on different facets of, well, societal pressures, values, how governments respond.
Yeah.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How these seemingly separate events viewed together might actually illuminate bigger trends, questions about rights, security, demographics, even compassion in our world today.
Definitely something to ponder on.